Love line, headline, heart line, well, it makes no sense to me, which is why I'm looking forward to our beginner's guide to palmistry today. If you've got any questions about your future, the answers might be here. And what does tomorrow hold for Prince Charles? Is he ever going to marry Camilla? Will he ever be king? And will he ever make up with Edward? Find out on The Psychic Show. Welcome to The Psychic Show. Now today we'll be meeting the people who say they can reveal much more about you than you'd ever know. And don't forget to keep an eye out for your personal message. They'll come up under the screen here throughout the show. Now we're trying to answer as many of your calls as possible. We've had tons in, so don't forget, if you'd also like a question answering or you'd like to join us here in the audience, then you can. Email us at tps@granadamedia.com or call 08712 44 90 99. Now, all this week, we're going to be asking our experts to reveal the real people behind our royal family. So let's take a look at who's in the psychic spotlight today. Okay, well, coming up, we'll have a lot more about Charles' relationship with Camilla. But first, in response to your tons of requests, we've got our lovely Robin here to give us a masterclass on palm reading. Fantastic. First question for me, though, has to be that I just don't get it. How does palm reading really work? Can you really tell people's destiny, their past, all from their palm?
Well, I get this a lot, but basically it's attached to your DNA, and your DNA program is running throughout your body, particularly in your brain. The cortex of the brain is particularly that. So all the things you've ever felt, ever thought, and ever did are recorded, and they record themselves as experience lines in your hands.
Okay, I'll go with that for the moment then. Will they change throughout the course of your life?
Well, they do slightly according to your experience and including the environment you put yourself in. Yes, they will change slightly, but everyone will have the same amount of lines thereabouts.
All right, what are the origins of palm reading?
Well, origins go back a long, long way. It's even pre-Christian. It goes back 3,000 or more years. It's mainly Eastern, very much attached to the Buddhist doctrine under the elements, and it's Eastern generally.
Okay, well, I know enough about it to know that you've got a lifeline.
Oh, we have,
so
yes.
can we kick off with that for starters? We'll use my palm, and we've got one up on the screen there as well. So
right.
lifelines.
Lifelines. Well, if you just take a look at yours first of all, you can actually see that tracing round the thumb ball, and on the graphic over here you can see it around the thumb ball. Yeah. This actually tells us about the tenacity for life and the libido, if you like, and the zest and energy.
Right, okay, so if you've got a strong lifeline, if it's not so strong, though, what does that mean? That you're a sort of a sickly person, or...?
Well, it could mean that you're struggling in life some way, or you lack motivation, and sometimes it does change in character, and it can look light. So people who have a lighter line may not be so zestful, they may have problems in their life, but most of them can be overcome. All
right, what about if you have a very short lifeline? Somebody asked me this the other day, they said, am I going to die young?
Well, short lifelines don't really mean an awful lot, but it shows your zest for life. People with short lifelines can find that they lack some motivation, or things don't go too well in their lives. But I've seen people of over 80 with short lifelines.
Okay, phew. All right, what about the heart line?
Heart line, now this is the way we actually feel. It's the emotive bit. If we look at the top, underneath the index finger, running round the little finger here, and we can see that on yours as well.
Yeah.
The deeper it is from the bottom of the fingers to the top of the heart line, shows the depth of emotions. My goodness, yours are deep and strong.
So that means what? That my heart rules my head?
I think it's inclined to. And if you look at the colour of the lines, the line at the top is very red. Right. Passion too.
I was head of school. I was the worst person in the school. Not academically, but I was very mischievous, and my skirt was always too short, or my hair was always dyed. I mean, there was always... I wasn't doing anything criminal or bullying people or anything, but I was always up to no good. I was always with my cigarette behind the hedge.
You've got a wonderful aspect from Saturn, the ruler, remember, of Capricorn, to your Venus that tells me you need to feel secure in a relationship.
Yeah,
you want them to completely commit themselves to you.
How terrible is it?
with a preponderance of planets all in this area of relationship, it tells me that you don't feel complete without somebody in your life.
We need to just talk for a sec.
Huh?
And we need to talk for a sec. I cannot. There's too much has been said.
Fine, I've apologised.
Will you let me finish?
No, not really, because I've
Okay.
apologised. If you
Okay,
can't
look,
accept my
Darren.
apology, with all what I say to you.
can't listen, can you?
I
come
can,
down
but
here to talk to you. I just hate the way things are now. It's also difficult, it's awkward, and I don't expect things to go back to how they were, no way. Of course, we're both feeling wounded from what's happened.
Love is very much in the air around you, and I really would put my hand on my heart and I'd say to you, if there is nobody very special in your life at this moment, which
There's no one.
well, within 4 years, I shall
Four?
be within 4 years I shall be buying my
I'll be 34, which means I'll have a baby at 38, which means I'll be over the hill by 40.
Well, it'll either be a baby or marriage, and I'll certainly be buying a hat for one of those occasions.
Oh, don't worry, you're on the front pew. I mean, I'm glad to know I'm going to get married. I'm glad to know Maria's going to be at my wedding. You know, I'll have to start planning it again now. Got 4 years to do it.
Oh, well, thanks to Tara there. I really enjoyed that. Well, Robin is back again with me now to take a closer look at some of your palms. We've firstly got on the line Gail Bradbury. Hi, Gail.
Hello.
Hello. You've sent in your palm, and Robin's been taking a look, a copy of the palm of your hand, not the palm. So, Robin, so what do you make of what you've seen so far?
Well, firstly, lovely nails. And the other bit about your palm, which is so obvious, is that you've got a very padded hand. It also shows a high index finger. And the index finger on the graphic, as you can see, is very long, and it shows a strong ego. People like you are normally very good organisers.
I am, that's very true.
Any questions that you've got, Gail, for Robin?
I just wondered really if it twofold, if you could tell me a little bit about my career and where that's going, and also if I'm ever going to find a man.
Two top questions. I've been asking him those myself.
Yeah, and I've been avoiding them all the time. But for you, it's a bit of a paradox. You are a person that likes to look after people. You're happy-go-lucky in many ways, but you're also a bit of a social butterfly, someone who likes to be out and about. So in a sense, someone's got to trust that. So the man in your life has got to be able to trust those emotions, let you be what you've got to be, and I think the rest of it will come that you'll take care of him.
Good.
Okay. How can you tell it so much from... Can we have a look at Gail's palm, taking that as an example?
Going back, I think, when you look at the thumb, you see, Gail, you've got this very strong, fairly stiff thumb with a large pad at the end. This indicates particularly strength, slight stubbornness, and the long joint of the second shows you're very reasoned, you're very good in argument. I wouldn't like to argue with you.
Is that true?
That is probably quite true, yeah. I can be stubborn, but I do think I'm fair in an argument.
I said you're well reasoned, not seasoned.
Sometimes.
And the index finger particularly, I think we can show that in just a moment. Or there we are. Yeah. Yes, the index finger, you see it's very long, but it's very high up on the hands. You see where the little finger is, and the next finger, that really is the very, very top. Not everyone's hands are like that. This is a strong ego, a large pad at the end indicates that you're very quick thinking, and a bit like Quicksilver sometimes with your tongue.
Right. Well, Gail, thank you very much indeed. Time to squeeze it in another. Thanks for the call, Gail. We've got another palm, and it's from Sylvia Gibbons, who's actually in our audience. Sylvia, where are you? Come and join us on the sofa. Come and sit down.
Fine, thanks.
Hello.
Nice to see you.
Let me sit with this.
Right then, over to you,
Right.
Robin.
Well, we're going to look at your hand. We're going to look at the inside here. And you can see the hand is quite large and wide. When they're broad hands, these people usually have large families and connected to people, many, many people in the family. She has an unusual quality to the thumb. This thumb here at the very top is very, very bulbous indeed, very, very strong. And this is inclined to indicate rather stubborn trait in the family. And it does run in families. It is a genetic factor.
This is giggling away. This is obviously very true. Spot
and
on.
she's also shaky as well. But don't worry about that. And the other bit about a hand particularly is the very strong lines show that they're all very strongly opinionated. My guess, if you've got them all together in the room, they'll be shouting each other down. And the very, very last thing I'd like to mention, which is so clear, the bottom of this lifeline here at her age group is throwing out a line already indicating a connection to travel. And my goodness, this lady has done a lot of travels in her life.
True?
Yes,
Yes. Have you got a quick question for Robin?
Yes, just
you know, if I'm going to continue travelling around.
Will you do some more travelling around? Well, you are a person with a broad hand that shows you're going to travel in many ways across this earth, but the other point is that the line running out of the lifeline, and we can just turn it round, and I point again just here, shows a very large move. You are going to travel, and I believe you're going to sell up everything and move abroad again.
Right,
Wow.
okay. Interesting. Let us know. Send us a postcard.
Yes, I will.
Thank you very much for joining us. But that's all we've got time for now. We're going to take a break, though. Part 2, we'll be putting the future of Prince Charles and his relationship with Camilla in the spotlight. Don't go away. See you shortly.